Silverstone again, and a very cold, bright morning at the end of January. The media is out in force though. This is probably the most significant launch of the pre-season period as Williams take the wraps off the car in which Jacques Villeneuve will defend his Drivers' World Championship. With Frentzen again, his running mate, he'll be supported by 2 test drivers as Max Wilson joins Juan Pablo Montoya on the test team. Although both will be anxious to prove their worth and earn a graduation into full-time racing. The launch was a typically Williams affair. No Spice Girls, no glamour, just a fast racing car was how the team summed it up, with the promise that it would be running later in the day. Something that seemed a tall order in view of the fact that the car wasn't ready to leave for Silverstone until 7:30 this morning. But there it was, higher nose, torsion bar suspension, and displayed at a fixed angle because Williams didn't want anyone to study the rear end too closely, where the exhaust exit onto the top of the rear diffuser, an approach widely regarded as conservative, so perhaps we all missed something important. The unmistakable difference is, of course, the new livery. Rothmans ends a very successful 4-year association with Williams, and Winfield Racing becomes title sponsors of the FW20. The coming season will be a very tough time indeed for Villeneuve and the team. They haven't kept the #1 plate since Rosberg, and this is the first time he will defend a title, having left IndyCar as champion to join Williams in Formula 1, and keeping a crown can be harder than winning it. But Villeneuve is highly motivated, although you can be forgiven for not noticing it. His performance at the press conference was in line with the rest of the team. Low-key, almost laid back, not promising victories or success, but quiet insistence that they have the right package.
No, it should have very little influence on that.
Well, it looks very nice, but it doesn't matter how it looks. I like it only when I find out that it's fast. Looking at the data, the numbers, and speaking with the designer, the aerodynamicist, and all that, it should be a very good car. Usually the Williams are very quick out of the box, but a mistake can happen. But all in all, I'm very confident in the car being fast.
Though McLaren could be the biggest threat, it's hard to make predictions.
Well, the only one I'm sure that is going to be a competition is Heinz Harald, my teammate, because he's going to be in the same car. Michael and Ferrari should be quick. They're always at least quick, so they should be competitive. McLaren should be competitive also. Then all the other ones, we'll just have to wait and see.
Frentzen is facing a tough season. He won his first Grand Prix last year, but he knows he must deliver consistent results.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but regarding my performance at Williams, I want to do better than last year. I had my learning year with Williams last year. I learned about the technique, I learned about the people, and now I want to use the chances I have for next year.
With the rule book written as tightly as the FIA can make it, there's little room for designers to maneuver, and the cars do tend to look very similar. So there's little chance of finding a big surprise on the Melbourne grid.
Now it tends to be more iterative, tiny step developments. But every now and then one's surprised by something, and they make what we consider as a dramatic step is a 1% improvement now, whereas one was disappointed 15 years ago when you didn't find 5% every week.
Today is the day the team will find out how much they've lost compared to last year. The new rules will make the car slower, and it's only a question of how much. Though this will not be the most significant test of the new car, it will underline a number of basic points. William chose today to unveil and said that it would run. Even though it wasn't finished until a few hours ago, they were preparing it to run and prove the point. And that will make a fairly strong statement about just how prepared they are for the new season, and just how strong the team is and how deeply that strength extends. Just how early they are in the scheme of things is evident as the seat is trimmed to fit Villeneuve into the car. which he's just been reminding everyone upstairs in the press conference is going to be very quick out of the box. That will be a show of strength if the car runs strongly as soon as it's fired up, but that's not enough to win the championship, nor even to win races. In fact, running strongly, in other words, engine horsepower, is probably going to be the toughest part of the program this year. Though Adrian Newey has been in charge of design at McLaren, he hasn't been in charge here at Williams since the end of 1996. And both Frank Williams and Patrick Head are confident that Gavin Fisher and Jeff Willis, who worked with him until his departure, have taken up the challenge very well. As Frank Williams said, they did a good job in 97, and he expects 98 to be no different. The engine may be a different story. Ford, Ferrari and Mercedes have new power plants for this year. And while all three take advantage of the opportunity to repackage for the new rules, they'll doubtless also be more powerful than before. While horsepower is a grey area that no one wants to go into too deeply, it's possible that the Mechachrome units are faster than last year, but they're basically the same. While that might give them an edge on reliability, it might also leave them trailing the other three from the word go, and there's no way of knowing whether Mechachrome will be able to maintain the pace of development the others will definitely sustain. As Frank said, we'll have to wait and see.